All right, so let me tell you, I have no shame of any type of snafus I make, ladies and gentlemen.
You must have been thinking, why the hell is he cutting me off? Why am I trying to talk and Vince is cutting me off, Chris?
Oh man, so so completely on me. I was doing a whole bunch of other things, and kudos to Vince Russo. We just was going for about 10 minutes, and Vince was like, "Hold on, it still says go live on my end. Have you went live? This is being recorded." I said, "Oh, big." Let me do the gimmick, man. Completely on me. Completely on me. Yeah. All right. Let's get into.
Let's recap the first 10 minutes.
Let's recap the first 10 minutes. All right. So basically, we were talking about how Vince saying that Sami Zayn actually turning heel would be a better move. I said, I was told actually, I was the one who reported Sami coming tonight, being involved in the Bloodline storyline. Everybody better give me credit for that, by the way. I reported that 3 days ago. So I will say that I was told that he will be a part of the babyface team as of now. So, but I disagree with Vince, and I said, hey, man, I'm not even sold with Sami Zayn going heel, because I think that the Bloodline gimmick has jumped the shark completely, and Vince does agree with that. So
yeah, and then Chris, we talked about and psychology. Your heels because you're cheating, because there's more of you than there are of them. And what do we get at the beginning of the show? We get 2 baby faces clearing the ring of 3 heels.
Yeah.
And my point was, why do we need a Survivor Series match then if 2 of them can take 3 of them?
Yes. Yep. 100%. Yeah. I was thinking about that completely. I was thinking about that absolutely. Someone said I would credit for something everybody already knew. Shut up. I'll be like, here's the deal. No one knew that he was coming back on Raw today. I was told by WWE backstage that he was coming back on Raw. People are so dumb and ridiculous as far as I usually no sell comments like that, but people are just dumb and out of their minds at times, and they just want to say something looks to sound dumb and stupid. So hey, if you keep your dumb comments to yourself, if you want to knock on my journalism, because guess what? You'll be coming to my page and wondering what the next spoiler information is, and so you'll go ahead and eat the poop that you just laid out. So
very nice.
All right, so let's get back into see. Shout out to Humble. Shout out to shout out to Humble and Rollin over there, man. All right, so yeah, we were talking about the psychology when it comes to the 2 Usos beating up the 4 members of the Bloodline.
Well, right? Let's give them Solo didn't get in this, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But 3, they beat up 3 guys, including
Jacob Fatu,
yes,
who's impenetrable. Basically, I mean, like his whole gimmick is like he's like the modern day Umaga. Like he doesn't sell anything, he doesn't hurt. Well, I do like that. I do think that that's a different part of a gimmick that works. You know, he's staying in character when it comes to that. Yeah, but go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'll forget if I don't tell you this. This is where they miss the boat. This is why this will never ever be the Attitude Era. Because what I used to do, Chris, is fling monkey wrenches in. What did we see last week that everybody popped for?
Yeah.
We saw Braun Breaker and the Wolfman come face to face.
Yeah.
Well, bro, how about in this? The babies are up. The babies are taking care of the Bopsy twins.
Yeah.
Then Fatu gets involved. Now they take over.
Mhm.
What about running Braun Breaker in there to go after Fatu? That's a monkey wrench.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But no, what did we do? 2 guys got over on 3 guys. We go to the end of the show. Sammy's talking to Solo. Oh, guess what? Sammy, they're going to set up Solo like Sammy's really on their team.
Right.
And then at the appropriate time, Sammy's going to turn and everybody's going to pop like nobody saw that coming. Throw the freaking monkey wrench in there once in a while, man.
Yeah. I don't think that the whole startup with putting in the bloodline and having the Usos beat up three members of the bloodline, I think that was irrelevant. I don't think that was even necessary to even be put on, because you want to make the heels look like they're monsters and the whole thing. And by having Sammy join the baby faces, it's going to make them look even worse, because Sammy doesn't want to be with them, right? And so they're not doing anything to make themselves look stronger. And so it would make perfect sense for them to lay out the Usos. What would have hurt the Usos to be laid out that segment? Because it makes sense that they would need Sammy even more. And so if it was 3-on-2, they were laid out, it would make sense throughout the show that they're trying to recruit Sammy, because they're like, oh man, we need somebody, right?
Right. But the way they laid it out, they don't need anybody. But Chris, I got some really bad news for you.
Oh, you got some bad news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, the last I checked, the box score, we're only in the bottom of the third with
bottom of the third, man.
We're in the bottom of the third, Chris. Yeah, Chris, we're in the bottom of the third with this. Yeah.
That was as of August of 23, though. So that was 14 months ago. So
is that when this started? 14 months ago?
I was there. I was right there.
14 months ago.
I think it was someone asked. I think it was Rick Ucchino, actually. Shout out to Rick. He actually does, I think he still does the SmackDown show here. I think he was the one who asked. Or was it no, it might have been my guy from WrestleZone. Yeah, I think it was him. I think it was Bill Pritchard. I think Pritchard, yeah. I think it was him. I think he was the one who asked. And he asked Paul at the after show at the press conference of it was SummerSlam of last year, and I was right there in the press conference, and he asked, where are we at? And then that's when Heyman said bottom of the third or top of the third.
Top of the third. Hey, Chris, when you talked about, let me ask you this, bro. When you talked about jumping the shark, which I agree with you 5,000%.
Yeah.
Should it have been over at WrestleMania when Reigns lost to? Was that the end of it?
I think the culmination of all this should have been Jey winning the championship from Roman. Because this whole bloodline thing started with Jimmy got injured during COVID. It was during their Thunderdome days, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy was injured. Jey was just kind of there. He won a number one contenders match. He goes against Roman, and then that's when he was trying to beat Roman and get the best of Roman, and then that's when Jimmy came in, threw in the towel, and things like that. So this whole thing started with Roman forcing Jey to be a sidekick. Yeah. So it would make sense full circle for Jey to get his comeuppance and be the one who actually beats Roman Reigns. I think that should have been it.
And if you really want to slaughter their booking, Chris, let's remind everybody when Jey and Jimmy are in the ring tonight, and they're talking about blood. And when Jey is talking about Sammy about you're not blood, bro. Let's remember how Jey lost to Roman. How did Jey lose to Roman?
He got choked out.
No, but remember who returned under the hoodie?
Oh, that was last year. Yeah, Jimmy did. Yeah.
But I thought they're blood though. They were
Exactly.
wait, they weren't blood then.
Yeah.
But
Again,
that's
it's
what I'm
so
talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking. You're either blood or you're not blood,
yeah.
Chris.
It's all over the place, man. Like I don't like again payoffs, man. Payoffs. It's like what's the payoff?
Yes.
Like we're bringing the band back together just for a Survivor Series match, and they're going to break away again. Like I don't understand. Like for the sake of just putting 5-on-5s together, is that why we're doing this? I remember back in Survivor Series days, those matches were like few. I love Survivor Series back in the late 80s and early 90s. The Survivor Series was just a bunch of feuds put together. So it was like a babyface team, so and it was a heel team, and it was a bunch of feuds just put together in 10-man form or 8-man form, whichever one. And so it was or like back in the when it really started, it was actually a continue. It was like a version of Hogan and Andre's feud. And so it was like a continuation of Hogan and Andre. So Hogan had his boys, Andre had his boys, and they feuded together. That was the point of Survivor Series. And so now it was like this brand supremacy bragging rights thing for a while. Now it's just kind of pushing things back together just for the sake of having the match. I just don't understand the point of even having this anymore. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I just wish. Go ahead, Vince.
So, Chris, are we saying that Rock is the fifth guy on the other side?
I was told that there's some suggestions being thrown out as far as who the fifth guy is for the heels. Right now, it's not The Rock, but
because from what I understand, Cody, it looks like it's going to be Jey, Jimmy, Roman, Cody, and Sammy, right?
Yeah, those are the 5 for the babyface.
So they need one on the other side, and who possibly is going to be more popular than The Rock to be that fifth guy?
Yeah, they were talking about I was told that right now The Rock isn't scheduled to be the fifth guy. So people are talking about they don't know. WWE doesn't know right now. They don't have
and how long away is it? A month?
A month away.
And they don't know.
They don't know. Yeah.
Great.
They don't know. And so so there was some talks of Zilla Fatu. And other people were saying Hukaleo, but as of now, he's not scheduled to be the fifth guy. But again, they don't know. So it might be Zilla. Again, if it's Zilla,
I don't even know who that is. Chris, I don't even know who that is.
He's oh gosh. Remember we went through that whole
he better look like Yokozuna or it ain't gonna mean anything.
No, he doesn't. He looks legit. I mean, he used to wrestle. He wrestled in Booker's Reality of Wrestling. Booker put him over pretty heavy.
I don't know.
But remember, man, about a couple of years ago, we went through the entire
I remember. Yes.
And so Zilla was there. I forgot who. I think it might be Umaga's son. I think it might be Umaga's son. Yeah. I think, but I don't remember who. I don't remember who Zilla's dad is. I think it might be Umaga. Yes, it is Umaga. Yep. So it's Umaga's son. So I mean, just another Fatu that looks cool. I mean, does super kicks and Samoan drops. Man,
and we're gonna pop the house when the babies go over.
Yes, but man, you got to give me a stake. You got to give me some stakes. Like, why can't the winning team go against the current world champion? You know what I mean? At the time, you know what I mean? Or the surviving members. Why can't the survivors go against the world champion? Cody would probably be world champion. Give me something with this, man, because otherwise it's just a match. And again, it's playing to the house because if there's no stakes, I always say stakes, man. If there's no stakes to it, what are we doing? You know what my stakes would be? What's that?
The the Samoans have to put up the pepper necklace.
Okay.
And Cody Rhodes' title is on the line. If somebody pins Cody, they win the title. Those would be my stakes.
Yeah,
It'd be something at least.
Yeah, I'm with it. Something. At least have a title on the line. Absolutely something. Otherwise, it's just a 10 on 10 match. The fans will love it. You know what I mean? The fans will say this is awesome and holy blank and everything else in between. So we'll just, once again, it'll be another pay-per-view or another PLE of the audience, the spectators at home watching how fun the live crowd is having by being in that atmosphere. So that's essentially what we're going to get. All right, we have a bunch of let's see here. You got some fanboys. You got some fanboys on the chat for you, buddy. Coming over for you. So
that's nice.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. Not knowing that I'm the host and I created this show. I created it.
Yes. However, we wouldn't be on right now if it weren't for me tonight.
That's true. That's true. Right, because you absolutely,
Chris. What if we would have caught that 50 minutes in?
I think I would have caught it before that. Because
if we didn't, would we have gone? Would we have done it again?
We're both men of faith. So we have to thank God above that he was able to catch that, because that would have been an absolute train wreck. So, all right, Catman 699. Vince, it's time. It's been long enough. The brand wanted bring back Margaritaville.
Margaritaville, yeah. You never heard Margaritaville, Chris?
Let's do it, man.
Hold on, man. Let me give you. You'll love this. You got to listen to the lyrics, though. Okay. Here we go, Chris.
Yep. Very nice. When did you make that?
Oh God, years ago, years and years ago.
Around what time? Around what
year? God, I'd say 5 years ago. I mean, Roman was a babyface.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. He turned in COVID 2020. Yeah. So,
about that long.
Very nice. Very nice. Put that on Spotify, man. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice.
Maybe you can get some money from it. So. All right, David, $2. More delusional, Aaron Rodgers or Tony Khan?
That's a great question, man. That's a great question, man. David, I can't answer that right now. It may be Aaron Rodgers. Maybe.
Why Aaron Rodgers, Vince?
Oh my God, the Jets are 2-6, and he's saying that they have to go out there and score at least 30 points a game. They're barely scoring 18. Oh man, what a bust! What a bust!
Yeah, it's starting to get real bad for Aaron.
Ohio State, a tight one this week.
Oh my gosh,
Very
man.
tight. I was a little afraid, Doctor.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go on and on about how disappointed I am with that game.
Too close.
But I was able when I shared it on Facebook. I roasted Ohio State on Facebook, and that's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. We were 26-point favorite in that game. And we only won by 4 points, and that's coming back and allowing them to get in the lead. And fourth quarter comeback against Nebraska. I mean, Matt Rule is he's a solid coach, but nah, man, I'm not.
Yeah.
People trying to mark out, it's going to be okay, and Nebraska's a good. Shut up, man! Like it's just shut up. Like I am not trying to hear a whole bunch of justification. Ohio State just dropped the ball, man. They just pooped their pants and just
man.
Yeah. So I can go on and on about that, but let's move on. Best singing, Devontae Adams or Whoop Whoop?
Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. Where are the whoop whoops, man?
You know how it is, Vince. They take their break, man. They
it's
take
been
their
a
break.
good 3 weeks now, Doctor.
It's been a few. It's been a few weeks. Well, they were part of the 10-woman tag, right?
Yeah,
that was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is Natalia? I heard she was like there was some. Where's she at now?
She wasn't on tonight.
Where's wasn't the whole point of her coming back? Like wasn't that a thing? Wasn't that like when she supposed to come back?
I don't know. We're the two new girls, Janet Jackson and the other one.
Janet Jackson. Oh,
what happened to them? Where are they? They're gone. Where are they now?
Didn't they get drafted on SmackDown? I saw
they weren't on SmackDown on Friday.
Oh, they weren't?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought that they're supposed to be a part of the tag team title match, and it's supposed to be a multi-person match at Crown Jewel.
I don't know. I don't think they were on though on
really? Friday. Let's go, David. Vince not booking this World Series.
I am not, man. I cannot believe the Yankees are going to go down 3-0. 4-0, top of the 7th, man. They're gonna go down
really?
3-0. Yes.
Oh wow. The Yankees might get swept.
They might, man. Aaron Judge, man, is you talk about we Chris, we've talked about 2 or 3 times pooping the bed on this show. Let's make it a 4th time. He is pooping the bed, man.
Yeah. I saw that walk-off by Freddie.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was pretty cool, man.
That was cool.
Cedric 199. Did you guys think TKO? Do you think TKO is still cleaning house? What do you think, Vince? You think they are?
I still think they are. I would even tell you, the lawsuit with the Ring Boys.
Yeah,
I got a copy of that. And I read through it. It's 82 pages, and I read through it. And not that he was a part of anything or allegedly or accused of anything, but Pritchard is brought up in that lawsuit. Not that he did any. Let me make that perfectly clear. I mean, I know Bruce, but I'm just saying the fact that his name was even mentioned in any way, shape, or form in that thing.
Yeah.
That's.
Help me. What else was that you could share publicly?
I gotta say this, Chris. I have to say this about it because I read through it and I read all 82 pages, and there's 5 Ring Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, their separate stories were so similar.
Really?
Like the only way these stories could have been corroborated is if they were all in a room at the same time, and that's not how their stories were told. The stories were so close. The experience of each kid was so close to the next kid. It was like it's too close. Their stories are just way too similar.
How did you Did they send you a copy of the
Yeah.
lawsuit? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm emailing them now. Actually,
Yeah.
I've gone back and forth with the law firm.
Yeah, I'm doing tomorrow on russosbrand.com. We're going to have Lee Cole on one of our shows. Lee Cole is the older brother of one of the ring boys who committed suicide.
Oh wow.
So like this story, this
Yeah.
story has been in Lee's life for since the 80s. I mean, that's how long the story's been in his life. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big get, Vince. Yeah, I'm praying that goes.
But it's hard to. It's really hard to read through all of this and just believe Vince had no clue of what was going on. I mean, it's just as bad as you want to believe that. It's hard to believe he did not know this was going on under his nose. And you know, bro, for as brilliant a picture as we always paint of Vince, man, bro, he's done some stupid things that have really cost him. I mean, we learned in Janelle Grant's case, forget about everything. He stopped paying her. Yeah. You know, he stopped paying her the NDA. I think that the agreement was for $3 million. I think he paid her $1 million and stopped paying her, which is pretty stupid. In this case, Chris, they fired Mel Phillips and then hired him back.
Yeah, allegedly, it's all alleged.
Well, no, I don't think that is alleged. I think that's all documented.
Well, it's all alleged until it's all closed up. So
but I'm just saying his employment record. They did fire him.
Yeah, they did,
and then rehired him. But my point is, whether he was innocent or not, with or guilty with those type of allegations, you're gonna fire him. So obviously you fire him because you allegedly think there may be something to it, but then you're going to bring the guy back. That's like, whoa.
Yeah, he talked about that on the doc too, as far as and he just he was pretty dismissive about it. I'm just like, oof. I mean, you know, we talk about Vince just being such a business genius, man, but there's been a lot of things to show the level of his moral code. You know, it's unfortunately it's quite low, you know, from the allegations that we've seen over the years and even the documentary. And of course you would know, you know, more than anybody else, just, you know, just being around him. You saw a lot of the business side, but I mean, talk about a lower moral code. He's telling you to hire a nanny, you know what I mean? And that's proof right there. Like, okay, do you have a soul, Vince? Is it there? You know, is your heart not black? And I think a lot of times, man, we saw that manifest in many ways as far as just his moral, you know, status. Apart from business, the crazy thing about that, Vince, is that one of the biggest fields of psychopaths are CEOs, and so. It definitely makes sense as he could be as far as being psychopathic, because, you know, people who are psychopathic and CEOs, they don't care about hearing no. Journalists too. A lot of journalists is that's a higher, because it's like not really attachment to feelings. Don't really care about saying no, hearing no. Basically like a Machiavellian mindset, by any means necessary, using people as a means to an end. All those things are psychopathic tendencies. And of course you saw that, you know, he's done all of those, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
And Chris, think about it. Like, you know, I know Pat was let go and then Pat was brought back, but at least Pat was his right hand man.
Yeah.
Mel Phillips was a ring announcer.
Right.
You can anybody can be a ring announcer. I mean, that's why I'm like, why would you ever bring that guy back? Like, oh my gosh, but what a bad decision, man.
Yeah, there are a lot of rumors that Mel and Pat was, you know, there was like a ring, you know, I mean, like it was pretty bad. So we shall see of where that's going to go, man. It's, when it rains, it pours to a lot of those things. I mean, look at Diddy now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Yep.
you have one, and then you have, Bill Cosby was another one. You get one, and then it opens up a whole Pandora's box of more allegations, and so it gets pretty bad. Yeah. We're seeing it with Vince now too, man.
Yep.
Enthusiastic rail line streamer, $5. Prayers for Ric Flair's family. His stepson passed away. Vince, do you see Sammy joining the Bloodline soon?
No, like I said, I think that would be a much better storyline, but that's not what we're going to see. He's setting up Solo to think that that's what's going to happen, and then they're going to do the big turn. And
let's see who else we got. We got Christian 499. Serious question. Vince behind closed doors. Would you ever consider meeting up with VKM and having a conversation?
Chris, I'll tell you what. You know the answer to that because you and I are Christian guys. We absolutely are. And yeah, if I could have a conversation with Vince McMahon about Jesus Christ, yes, I would have that conversation with Vince McMahon in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well said. Let's see here. Awesome $5. People talking blank at games. He's on board of TKO. People talking blank at games. He's on board of TKO UFC 309 and MSG is next month. That could do over 3 million buys. Who cares about WWE?
I don't know. I'm not sure what he's saying.
Talking blank. I think the blank is, because we're talking crap at games. I don't know. Does that mean Triple H? You
don't know. Awesome Sauce. You don't know he's on board at TKO. You don't know what their plans are. They may need him there now. But they may already have a replacement for him. They may already be grooming. You don't know. We don't know. You wouldn't know unless you're there, man. We're just speculating.
Yeah, The Rock is, but I have no clue if Triple H is.
Right.
PG 499. What's the story with Hogan and Sting at Halloween Havoc? Why did Hogan lay down?
It was just part of the storyline at the time. That's all.
We got Awesome Sauce, $5. Watching Mania 5 build and Macho's promos with the storytelling intensity and them yelling at the camera alone. He's the GOAT. It felt so real. Nobody liked that today.
Oh man, no.
That's your GOAT, right, Savage?
Yeah. Bro, do you know? Some people know this. I bet you a lot of people don't know this. If you guys go back and look at some of Savage's promos, on the way to the promo, Chris, many times he would grab an inanimate. How do I say that, Chris?
Inanimate
object, like a coffee cup.
A cup of coffee.
Yeah, he would grab it and walk to the interview and make the promo about what he just grabbed. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine 90% of today's roster trying to do that? Can you imagine? And what he was doing was he was challenging himself. Can I cut a 2-minute promo about this pen? That's what he was doing. Chris, that's what makes you great. Absolutely. That's what makes you great.
Yeah, you study. You continue to study. You continue. I remember Vince. I remember when you told me a couple of years ago. I think we've been doing this 4 years now, something like that. 3-4 years.
Yeah.
It was right. It was a little bit after Road Warrior Animals passing.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
That's how I got the job. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember Animal passed, and they were saying, "Man, we need a replacement." I said, "Vince Russo."
Yeah, but you said I was down the ladder a little bit there.
Nah, come on, Vince. Nah, you're the first person I thought of. Yeah, but I can't tell you. They're like, "Man, Vince may be too controversial."
Yeah,
and I said, "All right, let's try such and such." And then we circle round back to you because I was like, "See, I think it should be Vince."
Bro, this Raju character, Do you know how many times, Chris, I'll go to my phone and I'll go to Google and they know it's me somehow, some way they know it's me. So when I go to Google, all these Vince Russo stories come up from Sportskeeda, Who are they kidding? Who are they kidding, bro?
Yeah, man. They you know, I was like, yeah, man, hey, we need that controversy. It creates clicks, man. So I think you know, and they're like, all right. And I think that was one of the best pulls that I got as far as, you know, putting my foot down
there you go. Yeah.
my job at Sportskeeda, man.
Yes.
We're getting Vince Russo. We're getting
Yes.
Vince Russo.
Yeah.
And we got him. And man, it's been a pleasure working with you ever since.
Too, Dr. Chris. You too, Dr. Chris. And I paid you back tonight.
You paid me. That was the redemption.
It took 4 years, but tonight I returned the favor, Dr. Chris.
Yes, indeed. Return the favor by saving this show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And some people will say, yeah, well, he saves it every week. But you know what? Hey, man, that's all right.
No.
It's all right. I'm not here to be liked, Vince. I'm here to put you over. You know,
go ahead. And then I want to bring something else up. Go ahead.
I get flack for you know, it's funny because I get flack because people tell me about the comments a lot. Every now and then I'll check them. I don't care I never edit, like I've told you this over. I don't put people over. I don't put comments over because it's very lowbrow, and I think quite highly of myself. I'm very self-confident. So if I have a high level of confidence, and these people are here as far as just lowbrow, useless, you know, ad hominems, why do I have to come down here to prove you, to bring you up? Like I don't care about spending the time with, okay, I want you to like me. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not my, and I always say, you know, and you would know this. I say this to people, Christian or non-Christian, my hero is Jesus. He's absolutely my hero. And if he is the only person who walked on this earth who is and was perfect, who was perfect while he walked here. He was crucified because Pharisees accused him for blasphemy, right? So if Jesus, the perfect, the quintessence of perfection, if he was disliked, who the heck is little old me, you know, to be liked by everybody?
Well, Chris, listen, I appreciate the Jesus comparison. That may be a little much, but Chris, I do want to say this.
No, I'm not. Hold on a second. I'm not comparing myself to Jesus. That's the whole point.
You were comparing me to Jesus. That's what I'm saying. Me.
No. I'm not comparing you to Jesus. Okay, I'm comparing people. Not like, so. I was getting disliked. You know, people giving me flack for they say that I agree with you too much, Vince. And so, you know, and that's the funny thing. And they me and my good friend Bill Apter, we jar a lot. And I'm like, no, I'm like, first of all, a couple things. One, me and Bill Apter is all things pro wrestling. He lives, breathes, sleeps, sweats, poops pro wrestling. I am not that guy whatsoever. I love what I do because I get paid to roast Raw every week, and that's a blessing. I mean, that's an absolute blessing. My wife doesn't have to work because I get paid very well here, and as a doctor, and as a college professor. So I don't have to swim in pro wrestling. You know what I mean? To make myself like over in this community. Like, I don't care about being over in this community. I'm coming here to do a job and to do it well. And the executives absolutely love me at Sportskeeda. They think that I've had several raises here. And so I'm good. You know what I mean? So, but I do get flack from your fans, though.
Yeah. Well, here's the bottom line, guys. And I'm going to bring this up, Chris, because this really, really bothers me. Guys, look at what Chris and I talked about tonight. You know, we're negative, we're bitter, we're this and that. Okay, what did we talk about tonight? We talked about 2 baby faces beat up 3 heels.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be. That's if you want to derive us being bitter out of Two baby faces should not be beating up three heels. Then we're going to get to my favorite part of the show. If you want to go back and watch this show and tell me when Rollins jumped Bronson Reed, he wasn't hitting him like a girl. You want to have that argument with me? You want to go back and watch the way Rollins was hitting Bronson Reed and then come back and tell me he didn't look like a female? You want to tell me that? But Chris, here's my point. This is my point, and I had a problem with this because my thing is with podcasting, which I do take seriously. This is my livelihood.
It is.
You're either independent or you're with them. Because let me throw this out there, Chris. Busted Open, okay, which is probably the most popular wrestling radio show out there because it's free and it's on Sirius. Okay, there's no other wrestling show on Sirius. So now Busted Open.
Who's the guy?
David LaGreca.
LaGreca, yeah, nice guy.
So now Dave LaGreca and Bubba are hosting an NXT show, and now
are they really?
And now Bubba is getting involved in the action at NXT. My point is, well, now if they're working with NXT, when they're burying AEW, I'm not supposed to be taking that into consideration. When they're putting over everything NXT does going forward now, I'm not supposed to be taking that into consideration. You see, you're not going to get that here, Chris, because I'll tell you, Chris, right hand to God, if the WWE called me tomorrow and said, hey, Vince, we want to give you a Legends deal, I have to make a decision. Because if WWE is paying me money, now I know I can't come on here and talk about how I really feel. I'm biting the hand that feeds me.
Sure.
So I would have to make a decision. Either take the Legends money and don't do any more podcasting, or say, no, thank you. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. So what you get here is our honest opinion because we're not affiliated with anybody. We don't want to be affiliated with anybody. We're here to tell you how we honestly feel.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to be affiliated with anybody. I don't want to work with WWE.
No.
I don't. I mean, I love what I do already. So, I mean, I think you made a good point there. For me, man, it's just, I've told you before, it's just, I'm disappointed as someone who's been a pro wrestling fan for almost 40 years. I'm disappointed when I see, and I'm more disappointed in the fans that are settling for it. You know what I mean? That's my thing. I'm disappointed in the fans that are just marked for the business still, that's not putting the WWE's feet to the fire as far as causing them and wanting them to step up. But we just talked about Ohio State and how I'm disappointed. I don't care if we won by 4 points. I am utterly disappointed at the game that I saw on Saturday. It is unacceptable to me. I'm not going to sit there and mark out like Ohio State. Oh, it's okay. Everything's fine. No, it's not okay. If we played the third-ranked team in the nation on Saturday at Penn State, we're going to get absolutely slaughtered if we play like we did on Saturday. I'm not going to sit here and try to justify, make every excuse under the book, for Ohio State's play. No, it's not okay. Our offensive line sucked. Our secondary sucked. And if we continue to play like that, we're going to lose at least 2 more games. And so the WWE, though, the WWE fans, they're complaining about WrestleMania tickets. That's the big thing this weekend. They're complaining about WrestleMania tickets. But guess what? They're swiping the credit card.
Yep.
Don't swipe the credit card if you're going to make a statement. If you really want to make a statement, don't swipe the credit card. But guess what? I don't give a rip what you say about us if you swipe the credit card. I don't care.
Chris, this is no different. We got the World Series going on. It's soon going to be the off season. This is no different than you're a fan of a 500 team, or maybe a team that was a couple of games over 500. Here comes the off season. Everybody's picking up all these free agents, and your team picks up Nobody. You're gonna sit there and tell me that's all. That's gonna be okay with you.
Exactly.
That's gonna be. And who's the team that wins it every year? Whatever team makes the moves at the trade deadlines. When your team isn't making that move to get better, that's not okay with you. 100%. Why is this okay? Why is it okay with you? Because Chris, we were not recording when I said this. Why is it okay with you that you're sitting in front of your television set 10 minutes before one word is spoken on this show?
Yeah.
Why is that okay with you? Like you literally just wasted 10 minutes of your. Why is that okay with you?
Because it's an island of misfits, man. The same thing I say every single week. It's an island of misfits. You see it. You see the misfits in the crowds. You see the misfits in the comment sections. You see the misfits all over the social platforms. It's a really bizarre bubble. It really is, man. And the more I get involved in the industry, the more I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not one of those people. I think about that all the time, Vince. I'm like, ooh, I'll look at those comments and I'll chuckle at all the comments that I see. I chuckle at them. And I'm like, man, it sucks to be you because you watch this product and you watch this show every single week and you comment the same stuff and you watch it every single week. You swipe the card, you buy the ticket, you say the things on the socials, and you're not even getting paid to do it. Like, that's the thing. You're not even getting paid to talk to. If you want to crap on wrestling or if you want to put wrestling over so much, okay, I get you. You're part of a niche market. But if you have so many things to say about wrestling and all this, don't watch it. I mean, don't watch it. Like, it's not forcing you to watch it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who stop watching wrestling and they'll pick up when The Rock or Hogan or something comes up. But at the end of the day, man, WWE's not forcing you to watch anything. You're choosing to watch it, and they're going to cash out on that every single time. Yeah, it's an interesting world over here, man. I don't know how you've been doing it for 40 years or 30 years. But, kudos to you for, betting on yourself and podcasting and having a successful industry in the podcast industry that you can pay people, to make a living, man. So kudos to you. So.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned Hulk Hogan. Did you see the Republican national, not it wasn't even a national convention. It was the rally. Did you see the Madison Square Garden rally? Did you see Hulk?
You couldn't pull his shirt off.
I just kept watching it and I'm saying to myself, what is he going to do? And bro, you could tell his mind was getting to that point. Like, what am I going to? Oh, that was
because you know how he's able to pull his shirt off before. I mean, you know this, but he would cut.
You gotta gimmick it.
Yeah, he would gimmick it. So you would have a cut right here. If you look at Hogan, videos, you'll see like a cut slit right here. Yeah. And what he does, he pulls the slit off and it just comes right out. Oh. He didn't have a slit this time.
I felt for him. So you could tell he's like, I gotta rip this thing off, man.
Yeah, man. That was hilarious, man. All right, let's see here. We got Christian 499. I will let Damian be a surprise. Why announce him in the first 30 minutes? Literally no anticipation at all. Personally, I'm glad that they did announce him, because if he was the surprise, I think it'll be worse.
I agree 100%, Chris. 100%.
We got McDowell's $5. Have you all peeked at those ticket prices for WrestleMania? Ouch. Yeah, we talked about that another show. It's pretty bad. It's all over. It's plastered all over socials about how people aren't going to buy. I'm like, yeah, you are. You're complaining. You're going to swipe your credit card. You're going to get tickets for WrestleMania. And the more you keep doing that, the more they're going to keep hiking the prices up, man.
Where is it at, Chris?
It is in Vegas.
Because think about it. What are they afraid of? Oh man, if we don't buy the WrestleMania tickets, what country are they going to go to next year? That's what they'd be. And I would say go to Timbuktu for all. Like, that's what I would be saying. You know.
I don't care if you go to Iceland. I mean,
Nah, man, go wherever you can get $15,000 a seat. Go there, man.
Yep. And we got 199. God bless, guys. Vinny Rue was an absolute G.
Well, Aaron Pavis has been with me for a long time. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
Yeah. 199 WWE needs Russo more than Russo needs WWE. Facts.
Aaron again. See Aaron again, man. Very nice, Aaron.
Trifecta with Aaron.
Yeah.
How many McMahons does it take to screw in the light bulb? None. The light bulb, screw the light bulb.
Very nice.
Keep her lit, boys. Very nice. Christian 999. Vince, I would love to see what you would do with this roster creatively. What do you guys think need to happen to make WWE actually care about the product?
I've said this all the time, and it was where we were in 96 or 97. It's got to mirror society, man. It's got to mirror society. You got to bring these wrestlers into the real world and what's happening in the real world right now. And if you do that, it's going to present issues that real people go through. That's what it's that, because you don't have that now.
Question for you, Vince. So for those who, a lot of people, they criticize the Attitude Era. Even before that, the era right before you was a dud, but before that was booming, rock and wrestling and things like that. What do you think it took? I mean, it was what, 80, the main event of 1988, I think it was. It had 30 million people watching. It was enormous. Why do you think wrestling was so popular in the late 80s, early 90s?
Well, man, one thing definitely, bro, MTV had a huge thing to do with that. MTV was just starting. Chris, I don't know if you were around for that. When MTV was just starting, everybody was watching MTV. There was nothing like it ever before. Man, whenever you went into somebody's house, MTV was on. And when the WWE... Yeah, when the WWE hitched their wagon to that, they became a part of that. And my God, what a man, bro. MTV had to be, if you look at the history of pop culture, MTV would have to be right up there. Bro, there were no such things as music videos. Yeah, the Beatles didn't have music videos in the early 60s. There was none of that. You would have to see these stars on variety shows and, the Sonny and Cher show and stuff like that. But now
Letterman and
all that stuff, Carson, all that stuff. But now 24/7, you're seeing these music videos, bro. That was huge. And when WWE joined them, they became a part of pop culture.
It was genius. I mean,
yes,
it was revolutionary.
Yes,
the MTV was an absolutely. I mean, if you think about over the past 50 years, revolutionary things over the past. I would say Facebook would be another one. Just as far as revolutionary pop culture things over the past 50 years, you throw Facebook in there. MTV is definitely one of them. I mean, there's a few other things too that you could throw in there. Maybe internet, dial up, and the metamorphosis from dial-up to what we have now. That's another one. It's interesting, man, because MTV and WWE, again, going back to Vince from a business side, genius. I mean, absolute genius, man. Yeah. He had the vision to expand it more than just the good old boy wrestling armory territories, man. And Bill and I, we go back and forth with this. He's like, man, I miss the territory days. I'm like, dude, I mean, I get it because you took pictures in his territory days, but a couple things. One, that if you brought someone to the WWE, from the territories, one, they have a bigger paycheck, and two, they have a better a bigger promise, or they're more confident that they'll make money. If those territory days, man, I studied hours and hours of it, watched hours videos. I'm good friends with Bill Dundee and Greg Gagne, like some Black Bart. Me and Black Bart are close. Like I pick their brains a lot, man, because I'm a student when it comes to this stuff. I pick their brains a lot. They've told me hours and hours of stories about territory days and just how difficult it is to go from town to town, and hopefully there's enough in the gate, and then they split the gate and they give the person, the main eventer, the highest cut, and then if you're the lower you're down on the totem pole, the smaller the cut you get. Like when you get to WWE, the gates were higher.
Yeah.
So if the gates were higher, even if you were lower in the totem pole, your cut's going to be more. So you're kind of like happy, like, oof, like Black Bart's like, hey man, I had to go in Texas and do all these Texas, territories, and get probably $200, $300 for the weekend for the whole week. Man, that's tripled, by just jobbing out to the Ultimate Warrior on this Superstars episode. You know what I mean? Like those are the type of things that people are thinking about from a business standpoint. You know how I am, Vince. I think of business.
Yep.
Man, screw with the territories. Like a lot of wrestlers were thinking that way. Like, man, if I'm either going to be here with Texas in the Blanchard territory, barely making by, or go to Northeast, with Vince.
Yep.
Making basically guaranteed money by just jobbing out to a few people, I'm good. That's going to pay for my family. So
yeah, absolutely, man. Yep.
Let's see. You have all right. So I think that's all we have for the super chats, man. Let's go ahead and run down
we talked about the opening segment, which I wasn't crazy about, the two babies fighting off three heels. Then we got Pierce is on the phone cutting a promo on Nick Aldis about, the Bloodline, busted the show, whatever. Judgment Day, we set up Dominic and Priest. Then we had a Kaiser Sheamus match. Like, who's watching this? Like, I have no idea.
Is he in a doghouse, man, you think?
Which one?
Kaiser.
Who knows, man?
What did he do wrong?
And what happened to that? Is that Dragunov hurt?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He tore his ACL. I think he's going to be out
for a while then. Yeah. Then we started the story with Jey, Jimmy, and Sammy. That was going to be the thread. And you guys know I'm a fan for threads. So that's fine. Okay. No,
I just wish that would have ended the show. I think that the ending of the show.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Chris. That's a great point. Bro, Savio Vega against Jewel Niles. Who's watching this? Who's watching this?
Nobody.
Then we got more Jey and Jimmy. That's fine. Then we got Rollins and Reed. And guys, I dare you to go back and watch it on your DVR and tell me that Rollins is punching him like a man. I dare you. That was horrible. I don't know how long this guy has been in the business. Bro, if you're Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed is never going to say anything because he's below Rollins on the food chain, but what you don't understand is you're making that monster look weak.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed should be cutting the promo of all promos on Seth Rollins after that. Like, brother, you got to hit me. You've got to hit me, or else you're going to make me look weak. How are you supposed to sell somebody punching like a woman?
Especially when Bronson and Braun Strowman just had like this big monster fest. And now someone half the size of Braun Strowman is getting the upper hand that quick over Bronson Reed. You got to make it make sense. When I was seeing this segment, Vince, I was like I said before, Bronson Reed better absolutely obliterate Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel. It better be a squash. It better
never happen.
And that's the sad part, man. Yep. It better be a squash. If for him to get all of this, heat on Bronson, the date or the go home before Crown Jewel. Man, he better squash the mess out of stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, what would it hurt Rollins if he loses to Braun Strowman?
Nothing.
I mean, like WrestleMania is little bit over 5 months away from it'll be 5 months away from then, a little over like 5.5 months, 5 and 3 weeks. So you've got nearly 6 months to recover and have a prominent spot on WrestleMania, which Seth Rollins probably would. If there's so Seth Rollins is already he already is going to have this spot on Mania. If Bronson Reed is back in the back in the pecking order by losing to Seth like yet another time, yet another angle, it's going to be harder for him to recover from this than for Seth to recover from this if he lost. Now, if he obliterates Seth, now you got 2 stars that you can build up, to WrestleMania.
Yep. Then we had Miz and Karrion Kross and the Alpha Academy and Truth and Miz and Butch and
all over the place, man.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Then we had Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee against the Vikings, against the New Day. Gable gets involved. I must have missed something here because Gable got into it with Rey. Did I miss that angle?
Yeah, I missed it too. I was wondering why that happened. It must have been a backstage thing or something.
I don't know. But anyway, whatever. Then we had Miz and Pierce. Then we had the main event. And I agree with you 1,000% that Sammy thing should have ended the show.
Yeah. Because at least that would have given us some type of
cliffhanger.
Yeah, cliffhanger, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Us a cliffhanger. Yep. Yeah. All right. Did we get this one already, Christian?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I would love to see that too. I would love to work with some of the people on this roster. Absolutely.
Sure. I think you said Damian Priest. You would like to
a
work
lot
with
of people.
him. Yeah. We got Rollins. I just saw.
Wait a minute, Rollins the one who is? Who does Rollins say is the greatest of all time? Austin. Not right. We always stick up for Hogan, right?
We stick up for Hogan.
Okay.
Yes, we do. I just now saw the video clip of Hogan struggling to rip his shirt. Instantly, the Huckster character from the mid-'90s couldn't rip his shirt either. Ironically, Hogan 2024 looks like Huckster 96. Rollins is going to fight to the death of the demise of Hulk Hogan, ladies.
Bro, let me ask you a question, Chris. I'm interested to see what your answer is of this. So Hogan's been campaigning for Trump. This is at least the second time I've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Would it have had more impact if Hogan would have went out there as Terry Bollea and given his true assessment and his true feelings of Donald Trump rather than have been the Hulk Hogan gimmick? Would that have had more impact and more effect, do you think?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Because it's a celebrity endorsement. Like the fans don't care about. That's the thing, man. It's interesting when it comes to public speaking. I was studying a lot about public speaking. There's 3 different types of public speaking. Rhetoric is actually came from Aristotle. He came up with the term rhetoric. It's about persuading people. So he came up with there's 3 different types. There's ethos, there's logos, and there's pathos. And pathos is a way of invoking emotion from the crowd. And so when it comes to stuff like that, from a PR perspective, I would have someone like a Hulk Hogan go out and, cut his gimmick, because if you poll, I had these conversations. I used to be a political writer over at the Inquisitor during the Trump and Clinton's campaign. And I learned so much, researched so much, and just looked at so many different videos and polls and things like that. There are only a very small percentage of people who actually is aware of policies. A lot of people are voting because they feel like they need to vote in some voting block, or they think because they're mom and them vote for them because they're this color, they're this race, or this. They feel like they have to be a part of they're part of a block, and if they vote outside the block, then they're taking the risk of not being accepted from the block, right?
Yeah.
And so I said this I had a conversation about this, I think today or yesterday. grab 10 people from your street right tomorrow and ask them, name me 3 policies
Oh
from
yeah,
both
no. Oh yeah,
candidates.
couldn't do it. Couldn't do
They
it.
couldn't do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So because of that, you want to use the celebrity pool. You want to say, okay, well, I couldn't tell you 3 policies, but I know who Hulk Hogan is, right?
yeah, yeah,
So, him going to the point of like being Terry Bollea, from a PR perspective, that's not what you want. You don't want the serious side of Hulk Hogan because you won't connect with him. Because if he's saying this is why I should vote for Trump, and this is why you should vote for Trump, people are gonna be like, okay. But I know Hulk Hogan though, so they'll go with Hulk Hogan anyway. That's why you have Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion with the Kamala Harris, and they're pulling on that the celebrity influence. So
yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Rollin $10 based on Vince's personal experience with McMahon and Dr. Chris' experience of psychology. Do you think that McMahon is hoping that WWE fails without him, or do you think that he's still hoping for WWE to succeed?
I don't think so, because I know what Vince's father meant to him. And that's why I think when Vince looks at this business, he's still looking at his father as being the founder. I don't think Vince would want that.
You would know more than I do,
Yeah.
of course. I have no dog in the fight when it comes to that, answering that question. I can only answer from a standpoint of psychology and seeing enough of Vince McMahon in his interviews to think that it might be the opposite, because he yes, his dad meant a lot to him, but at the same time, if someone does have psychopathic tendencies, none of that really matters at the end. If he feels like if it's not his baby, it doesn't deserve to live. And you even saw that when Vince would put the kibosh on suggestions outside of things that he thought of. You know what I mean? So anybody would come up with ideas or suggestions that would get shut down. He wouldn't understand things. You know what I mean? He didn't understand Bray. He didn't understand Karrion Kross. He didn't understand Malachi Black. You know what I mean? So if it's not his thing, he puts the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
And so I don't see how this not being his baby anymore, him having to sell it. Again, he made a good business move. He's like, this might be a sinking ship. Let me go ahead and get my 9 bill on the way out. You know what I mean? I'm going out swinging. I'm going out in a blaze of glory, basically. And that was smart. That was a very smart move. But when it comes to the success of WWE,
I would just love man, if somebody says, Vince, when it comes to the whole wrestling industry, the whole wrestling world, like what is the one thing that you would want to be privy to? Chris, whatever the dynamic is in that McMahon family, man. I guarantee you guys, I know I'm a lot older than a lot of you, but if you watch Dallas back in the day with J.R. Ewing and Bobby Ewing, and I guarantee you that dynamic in that family must be so similar to that. Can you what are the relationships between Vince and Shane and Vince and Stephanie and Vince and Trips and Linda and oh my God, if only we knew, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever got into this show. My wife and I got into this show really tough, probably about 10 years ago. It was a Tyler Perry series called The Haves and Have-Nots.
I know of the show. I do know the show.
I think of the Cryer family, and the Haves and Have-Nots. My wife and I followed that series really tough for about 3 seasons or so. And the Cryer family reminds me so much of the McMahons, like the husband was just a pompous butthole. Wife was very wealthy too. They played the part, outside the house, but they would just slit each other's throat if they had a chance. You know what I mean? Like they both had a arm behind their back because they was just ready to strike every time, stuff like that. And then the kids didn't like the parents, but the kids loved each other, and they were both adult kids. They loved each other, but they hated their parents. But the parents loved the kids, but they were just loving in a very pompous way.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that dynamic when it came to, or even when it comes to the McMahons. Man.
Yeah,
So
I can't imagine, man.
they wanted to divorce each other like crazy, but they didn't want to affect their public image, and because I think he was going for mayor, I think it was, and yeah, it was an interesting show for sure. Definitely a lot of McMahon, ism in that. So, all right, my man, let the listeners know where to find you.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to promote this because I think it's going to be very interesting, and you're not going to get it anywhere else. On Patreon, like I said, we are me, Stevie Richards, and Ben Hameen. We're going to have Lee Cole on. We have the case. 82 pages. We're going to talk about it deeply. And you guys, if you've never been a Patreon member, man, you could watch it for free. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. Get a free week of the brand, and you can at least watch that show. It should be very, very interesting.
Very awesome, man. Once again, Vince, always a pleasure, man. Hanging out with you, my brother. Yep.
Yes, sir, Chris. Always.
This guy right here is Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe every now, probably once a month or so. Unless someone gives me a message like, hey, man, did you see this? And I'm like, no. Bill after, hey, did you check the comments? I'm like, no. I didn't check the comments.
I have not checked the comments one time since we've been doing this show.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Bill will say, reads you sometimes too, but Bill's like, man, did you see this? And I'm like, clearly he lives in the comments, and it's like, hey, did you? No, I don't look. I don't. It's a cesspool. The times that I do, it's a cesspool. I'm just like, because I like looking at comment sections, because I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's some, whether people agree or disagree with me, I don't care. Like, as long as we do it as adults, you know what I mean? Like, but when I'm childish stuff, when I have to sift through kids, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's all right, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hey, maybe 1 week I'll hop in there and there's some civil disagreements. If you disagree with me, please, I am totally fine with that. Just do it as an adult. It's fine. I'll look at it.
The same thing, man. I say the same thing.
Good, it's all good. All good. Agree or disagree, just comment. It'll boost our algorithms. Thank you so much for doing that. Like, share, subscribe, do all that jazz. And until then, this is Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is Legion Raw. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.